Welcome, you have reached Imperial Reviews, and today's review is Plan B. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So let's go over the cast. So you got comedian Jamie Lee, plays as Piper Brennan. John Heder, a.k.a. Napoleon Dynamite, plays as Evan Ebert. You got Shannon Elizabeth, plays as Ann McNeely. Now, if you remember Shannon Elizabeth, she originally, everybody known her for American Pie 1 and 2. Well, she was in the other one too, so that's where she come from, American Pie. French student. Tom Berenger as Joe Cassidy. Kate Flannery as Jane Brantley. Michael Labardi as Cameron Cassidy. Vernon Davis as Steve, which is the Lamaze class instructor. And Subata Agaro as Maya. Daniel K. Isaac as Travis. And Susan Savoy as Diane Cassidy. So this movie, it was an okay movie. Something to watch. It got its humorous moments. And let's just get into it. So what you have going on, you have it starts off with Piper, who's intoxicated at a club. She gets kicked out of the club. She wanders home. Meanwhile, when she wanders home, she meets her neighbor, Evan. He's going into the house, sees her, and they spark conversation. You could see right off the back that Evan is fond of her. And as he's fond of her, she's drunk though. She's feeling it, horny, and she push up on Evan and told Evan, "You want to come over my house?" Of course, he proceeded. They gets to start making out, and he wants to grab a condom. Real awkward sex scene between the two. He was real awkward, and he had sex with her. Woke up the next day. She was having guilt that she had sex with him, drunk sex with him, and pretty much wanted him, gone after that. He pretty much clinged to her, like woke up next to her, smiling, kissing and stuff. She wanted him gone. He was all clingy, and she pretty much, wanted to kick him to the curb. Meanwhile, he's, thinking they really got something here. So as he's leaving, her roommate Maya is coming in. Maya, I think Maya's a doctor or a nurse. And she comes in and like, "Evan, what are you doing in my house?" And he's like, "Well, me and Piper, we together now." And he's dancing and he's all happy. And he goes into his house now. When Maya now is approaching Piper, like, you mess with Evan now? Basically saying, "I can't believe you did that." And she pretty much is like, well, she's shameful, but, basically told her she didn't mean to, but she was caught up in a moment, pretty much. So from there, she has this appointment coming up where she's looking to get a book deal. Meanwhile, she works at like a cafe, like a Jamaican cafe. And when she's at this Jamaican cafe, she sees this guy, Cameron. He always comes in, he's a banker, and he's pushing up on her, but she always tells him, like, she blows him off. He comes there all the time. She doesn't really pay attention to him. She pretty much told him he's not her type. So Piper has her meeting, and when she has this meeting with Jane is pretty much telling her, like, "I see your photos online, and I wasn't into your photos at first, but then my ex was following you, and I didn't get it." But she started taking pictures of couples, and she started with their agreement, taking the pictures, and then she would put her own captions, and she started developing a following. And so this person, Jane, was wanting to give her a publishing deal, pretty much. And I think this is shot in because they mentioned Philadelphia. So right at the meeting, Piper threw up on Jane's desk. So she threw up. Jane pretty much said, "Okay, this is what I got an assistant for," and she threw up. Boom, she's pregnant. So now she's thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm pregnant with Evan's baby or whatever." So meanwhile, Maya and Piper invite Evan out to lunch, and they was going to tell him. However, when he come there, he's pretty weird. He has a band, and the band got a small little following, but it's building up, and everything about Evan is not what she likes. She thinks he's, basically a dork, Napoleon Dynamite growing up pretty much. And she doesn't think that's the ideal kid she wants for her child. So she doesn't want to get an abortion because she had an abortion already. She's getting older, up in age, and she doesn't want to miss her opportunity of having a kid when she didn't have parents growing up. She lost both her parents young. So her plan is now to hurry up and link with a guy. And if she links with a guy and he meets all her qualifications and standards, she plans to have him believe that he's the father of her child. And so her Maya is telling her that's crass. You shouldn't do that. That's not a good thing to do. But the more she starts thinking about it, like, this is the best thing to do. So of course she goes out on a date. So this is supposed to be a humorous moment. She meets all these different guys, and of course the guys all got different issues with them, and Maya's there to tell her. So eventually, she didn't succeed. So then she ran into Cameron. He came to get his coffee again, and she then looked at Cameron pretty much as like, banker, And so she willed him in pretty much. She remembered his drink that he liked and pretty much told him, like, you should take me out. And then he kind of was thrown off because he like, "Oh, you said I wasn't your type," but whatever. But nevertheless, he went with it. She asked Maya on how should she dress. She dressed very provocative. Of course, she ended up getting with him. He ended up sleeping with her. After he slept with her, they start going on several dates and, just bonding and enjoying each other. And so about 2 months into dating with him, she pretty much broke the news to him and said, "Hey, I'm pregnant." He was kind of standoffish at first, but then he kind of embraced it. So after he embraced it, he pretty much started going all in. He introduced her to his parents. The parents started to embrace her. And at that moment was the first time she kind of felt like, this is a good guy. I shouldn't do this to him. Maybe this ain't the right decision to make. Maya the whole time is like the wing girl and, trying to coach her along the way, but like, still being a supportive friend. So as time went on, as she started growing, no, at first they went to go see the ultrasound, and the dates wasn't matching up at first, but she kind of blew it off and pretty much after she seen him meaning Cameron with the picture of the baby, he like, "That's our baby." She knew this is wrong because he's really getting into it. So it was a moment where she needed to go to the Lamaze class, and Cameron told her to come to his job. That's where his Ann McNeely, which is Cameron's boss, was like, "Hey, I need you to stay after work so that we can do these basically these projects or whatever, because we want to make you partner." He was like, basically he couldn't go, so he told Piper he couldn't go, and she was pretty much upset that he couldn't go with her, so she called an Uber. Lo and behold, Evan's her Uber driver. Now on the back end, Evan met with his mom, and Evan's mom pretty much said if this is the girl you want, don't give up on her. But nevertheless, so Evan was her Uber driver, surprisingly, and then she got to talking and said she was in her feelings. So Evan said, "You could talk to me. I don't want it to feel awkward." So she pretty much said, I met a guy. I thought he was going to be great for me, and now I'm starting to feel as though he's not great, and pretty much everything's not working out the way I wanted it to. Now I gotta go to this Lamaze class by myself. And so Evan pretty much was like, "Here, I go with you." And she was like, "Well, that would be kind of weird." And he was like, "You basically shouldn't go by yourself." And she was like, "No." But then again, once she showed up, Evan was with her. So when Evan was with her at the Lamaze class, this is now another humorous moments where you see other couples in there and they get to talking about their experiences with a kid. Then you see football player Vernon Davis. He plays as Steve. He's the Lamaze instructors. He's telling everybody with the breathing and everything like that. So right off the back, Evan and Piper started bonding because he, with his band, when he gets anxiety on about with his band, he learned the breathing techniques with certain people on YouTube who she followed for breathing techniques with being pregnant and everything like that. So they started bonding, and while he was helping her out in the breathing section of the Lamaze class, he was sending her encouragement words in her ear and telling her she's going to be a great mom, she's a great person, all that type of stuff. And so the rest of the class was hearing her, but he was really telling her, he was deep in his thoughts. And then she breathed, and then after the class, he went to go take her home, and he was like, "Well," she's like, "Well, ain't you coming up too?" And he was like, "Nah, I gotta go to basically Staples to print out some posters for my band." And she's pretty much like, "I got a printer with a lot of paper. You could do it at my house or whatever." He said, "I gotta make like 100." And she was like, "That's cool." So she wanted the company. Now, when she got in the house, Cameron was in the house sitting. And so he comes in, and it's an awkward moment. And so Cameron start basically dissing Evan, calling him names and stuff like that. So after Evan pretty much said, "Hey man, I'm going," Cameron, well, not Cameron, Piper was like, "Why you do that?" Whatever. And he's basically like, "Yeah, I apologize. I was just upset. What you think I didn't want to go to the Moz class with you? And I wanted to, but I just had to make sure I'm getting money for the family, for our future." So basically that's what she wanted, right? She wanted that type of, family situation for her future. So she finally got it in her head that I gotta tell Evan. I know, not Evan. I gotta tell Cameron and let Cameron know pretty much, "Hey, this is not your child, and I gotta break it off with him." And basically, he meaning Cameron invited Maya and her out to dinner or to a place. So she told Maya not to show up. So when she shows up alone, and you already could tell, like, oh, he gonna propose to her. It's a surprise. He gets there. It's a surprise baby shower. While he's there, while it's a baby shower, she kind of freaks out because she wanted to. She freaks out because she wants to break up with him. So she calls Maya, pretty much tell Maya, like, "Listen, you need to get here right now. I need you. I'm freaking out. He just did a baby shower for me, a surprise baby shower. I'm not feeling this. I need your help." And so Maya said she'll come or whatever. So Maya asked her, "You gonna tell him you gonna break up with him here?" And then she was like, "No, not." He invited everybody we know, and then he invited his boss, his parents, her publisher person. He invited Evan. So she asked him, "Why you invite Evan? Why was he there?" And then he pretty much was like, "Well, I felt bad. I did what I did. So, I wanted to apologize. So I knew he was your friend, so I invited him." So once Maya got there, and then right after that, Cameron wanted to give his speech, and then he pretty much proposed to her. So once he proposed to her and asked her would she marry him, she said yes at first, but then right after that she said no. And then she went in to tell him the whole story, and she pretty much apologized, said she wrong person. She pretty much said, "I didn't want the person that was supposed to be my baby daddy That's not who I wanted. I wanted someone else like you, and for because who you were, but the real person is you, Evan. And Evan looked like what? Like, so after that, some time went by, and it pretty much showed Evan was ghosting her. He didn't want nothing to do with her. He was upset, and she started eating her life away and becoming a slob. So eventually Maya just told her, you need to get out of your space, and you need to get it together, get your life together, and go over there and apologize to Evan and talk to him. So she went over there to talk to him, and Evan was just pretty much knitting, and he didn't want to have anything to do with her. So she got herself together, cleaned herself up. She started going to Lamaze classes by herself. She got her book together, and inside of her Lamaze class was Travis, which was like a music producer or something. He worked at a music company. Basically, he could sign Evan. So she talked to him, pretty much telling Evan got this big show coming up. So the night of the show, she shows up looking for Evan, talks to Evan behind stage, and they have a back and forth. And he pretty much told her, she hurt him, and why would she do that to him, and why would she want to do that to their kid? He would have went on life not knowing he ever had a baby and stuff like that. So she pretty much apologized. She cried, and it came time for him to get on stage. So she went out, and he was kind of startled at first, couldn't get his words together, and then she told him do their little breathing thing that he was learned online. He did his breathing thing, and he got together, started doing his song, pretty much a song that he made for her, talking about their situation. It sucked, but he still did it. Then he went into another song. The crowd loved it, and pretty much rooted him on. Right after the performance, Travis came over to Evan, pretty much told him, he liked his show performance and that he should call him. He ran right up to Piper, kissed her, and after she kissed her, he said he couldn't believe that she was here for his performance, and also that what she did with Travis, he appreciated it. And right after that, her water broke, and so when her water broke, she made a little humorous joke around there, and after that, they went to the hospital to have the baby. She had the baby, and then they started to think of a name for the baby, and that she had visions of what it would look like, because Evan, he likes to pick his food, making sure that the food is cooked all the way before he eat it. So she had visions of their daughter doing the same thing as they grew up. So that's pretty much the end of the movie. Overall, a decent film to watch. If you happen to come across it on a streaming platform, take a look at it if you ain't got enough to watch. It's not a must-see film. It's humorous, got humorous moments. It's not like drop dead funny. It's just got humorous moments. Okay film to watch. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Any of my 4-star rating system, I give it a 2 out of 4 stars. It's a decent watch. Till next time.